Hey y'all, the main story today. The Bank of Japan is going to raise interest rates. What? I don't know. Okay, so what's that mean? Let's look at this. Let's take a little dive. I mean, this is important stuff. Widely expected to raise its benchmark. You know what? I'm gonna open up. Let's get on. I almost said Twitter. Let's look at X right here. X. There was a post from the hedge markets. Thank you for posting this right here because this looks to be in my research. I looked to make sure this wasn't just some random dude posting this thing. Bank of Japan. Okay, this will be the first increase since January. Okay, all Bank of Japan watchers surveyed by Bloomberg forecast a rate hike for the first time since Governor Kazuo Uda's term began. Okay, BOJ officials believe the bank will be at the neutral rate at 0.75, with some thinking even a 1% would be below neutral. Okay, so the neutral rate estimated between 1 and 2.5. Inflation has run at or above Bank of Japan's 2% target for more than 3.5 years. Japan's rate would still be the lowest among most major economies. So let me scroll down because this can be significant. What's this going to do to markets? Japan's raising rates to the highest level since 95 signals the end of an era. That's a big word. Okay, they've had zero or negative rates for decades while every other major economy had normal monetary policy. What happens when you're able to borrow money for 0% and then go and buy T-bills and bonds and everything else in the United States that's given 3 to 4%? It's an amazing arbitrage. Okay, that's what's been happening for at least a year and a half or so. Keeping it, Japan has been the last source of ultra cheap money in the global financial system, and that's losing it could tighten financial conditions everywhere in ways people aren't fully anticipating. Okay, so these are just the graph on the percentage chance of how much is going to. So December is for sure, boom, 0.75 raise on Japan's interest rates there. Okay, so January is about 50-50. They don't know yet, so on and so forth. And then this guy, this is entertainment here. You all realize that Wall Street makes its living off lies. So that much I have learned. All this negative posts have an angle. You know what I actually commenting on this right here? We all kind of believe that is true, right? That Wall Street has this huge advantage, and they do. The insider trading, which is illegal, they have advantages in that regard. But what I learned from this self-made multimillionaire who trades just like all us, these retail investors, he had a different take on this thing. He started to take a look at retail investors have a bigger advantage now than we ever have had in the history of markets. And he goes into details on why. Okay, but that's just the point I wanted to make. Some very successful retail investors think that we have more of an advantage than we ever have. Okay, because there are some older technology that Wall Street is still running off of. Okay, they don't have some of the AI indicators and things that we have access to. We have boots on the ground that we can actually. He talks about going down to one of these stores, I don't know, Walmart or CVS or something, and standing next to the makeup aisle for hours on end, watching what consumers buy. He does studies like this to figure out trends before they hit. So we do have more advantages than we think. Is there corruption at the highest levels? Of course there is, but it's not like that we have these disadvantages that a lot of these people talk about, these naysayers. This guy responds and goes, I cover data from central banks, government agencies, and earnings reports. The Bank of Japan raising rates to the highest level since 95 isn't a lie. It's a monetary policy. Japanese investors holding trillions in foreign assets because of the interest rate differential is documented fact. We can look at it. If you think pointing out the dynamic has an angle, I'm not sure what to tell you. The data is what it is. Okay, that's why we like cryptocurrency people. On-chain data is immutable. It doesn't change. You can't change it. It's there. Blockchain data is what's up. So I wanted to share that with y'all. So now, how is this affecting things? Real quick, I'll leave you guys with this. Let's look at a Bitcoin chart. Now, okay, that body of the candle is a little bit bigger. This is the Bitcoin chart. See my white lines? We are in a sideways moving pattern. Now this is kind of critical. I'm just looking at this right now. This blue line right here. Okay, this is my trend line. Try to keep your eye on the two white line parallel trending movements have been going on since, what's the date on that? That's November 20th. Were we inside that range even before then? So I would go back and say since November 18th, we have been in this sideways trend. Why is this significant? Because it got outside of my downward trending market right here. Okay, and so now we're tightening this range. This tightening downward trend is what we're seeing right here. This is a huge indicator. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, right here, I'm going to have to point this out. We are seeing a tighter, wow. We are seeing this candle right here, that's a weird color, is about to cross and close on my trend line. Man, if that happens, it just creates stability in price. You know, I'm not saying, you know, things are going to turn around dramatically. It's Christmas time right now. People are distracted. It's totally normal to be flat in the markets. It is what we are today. We're kind of flat. We're flat in the markets. Don't mind me, people. I'm just going through my thing. Oh, sorry. This is Chipotle. Full disclosure, I bought Chipotle stock today. I don't want to get into that. That's, do your own research. That's just me. I have safer holdings with diversification, people, with investing. You can't have too much of your allocated funds in one sector. I was too technology heavy in my stock market holdings. I had to move into some other sectors. That's why I bought Chipotle. And I did research on it. It's a strong company. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, Ethereum. Here is Ethereum, everyone. Let's see here. Couple green candles today, okay? And we like it. Okay, so Ethereum is kind of moving sideways as well, but it's more bullish overall because we did break out. This is a different chart. I don't have my trend lines, but right here where we see these two moving averages, the downward trend, we broke out of it. And so now what we're seeing, it's just a stronger foundation. We're starting to create this support level right here at this 2,700, bounced off at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days on this sideways trend right here. Gonna close higher. We like closing things higher at the end of the week. That's for sure. Now, people, honestly, on a macro perspective, I'm gonna leave you with this. I think we have been experiencing the crypto winter. Okay, and it has to do with global liquidity, the RSI numbers, the macro picture on financial markets just hasn't done what it has done historically with these cycles. And I was actually studying some of the charts over there yesterday. There's tons of different charts. I'm going to show you. I'm going to put together a video. It's a little more in depth. I'm going to expect to do that this weekend. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about with these cycle trends, and it makes sense when you can see it on paper, on these charts that are real data. You can see what I'm talking about. So I'm just happy to see today that we didn't go lower, because we can. Listen, I'm trying not to be the guy that's bullish every day, because that's not reality with investing. We've been in these downward trends, and it's okay. We're just trying to find heavier support on how to deal with it, if we're going to buy and get in or not. So that's it for today. Get your Christmas shopping done, everybody. I was talking about the crypto winter, and here's some entertainment for you in San Diego. I was asking people if they ever heard of Bitcoin. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Crypto Hop signing out. Enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, and your time to relax, hopefully. Peace out.